Broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studios in Pensacola, Florida, it's time for Pensacola Business Radio. Now, here are your Business Radio X hosts.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Keith over here, broadcasting live from our downtown Pensacola studio on this lovely spring day as it starts to get warm down here in Florida. Imagine that, warm in Florida. And I've got Becker here with us from Beach Cruiser Auctions. He's going to tell us a little bit about what he does in his world of, it's a pretty unique world, actually. He's the only one doing it that I know of.
All right, so I'm the CEO of Beach Cruiser Auctions. My company assists with people that need help selling classic or exotic vehicles. I established this business to get top dollar for people that have inherited or don't know the value of a car. I've been in the classic car industry ever since childhood. And
you had Hot Wheels growing up, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of people that do this, right? There's a lot of people that have cars that have no clue that they're sitting on like a gold mine, right?
That's the biggest thing is you hear of people that have cars just sitting in a garage. Someone passes away in their family. They have no idea about the value of it.
I got to pay for taxes on this car. And
what do I do with it?
Yeah.
So as a member of a car club, I saw how people would sell their vehicles, and then people would try to lowball them on the price so that they could resell them. So my business model is to assist with the sale and broker to get top market value for clients' vehicles.
So, like, what's a DeLorean with a flux capacitor go for these days?
Oh, it depends on who wants it at the right time.
I mean, that pretty much goes for, I would think, any car, right? I mean, the value is obviously in the eye of the beholder, right? And it can be different every day, right?
Exactly. Like I just auctioned off a 1946 Willys that was shipped to the UK, and it's a crazy story because it's a piece of Americana, and it's being shipped to the UK.
Yeah.
So nobody in the United States wanted to pay more than someone else in the UK.
Yeah.
So it all depends on.
Are they going to be allowed to drive it over there because it's on the your wheels on the opposite side?
They'll just have to reach over at the drive-thru.
Very cool. I didn't know because you're not allowed to drive them over here unless it's like the mailman's car, right? Like
You can.
It's
just people say it's a safety concern because of blind spots, but
you got blind spots on the left, you just got them on the right.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest complaint I've heard about is going through the drive-thru. It's on the wrong side.
Yeah, yeah. I guess you just go inside, huh?
Yeah.
So what got you into all this?
I mean, basically, my passion for restoring vehicles, and I don't like to see someone not get what the value of a classic car should be. Basically, I've had friends that sell, a classic car, and then down the road, they regret selling it for a certain price. So there's a huge network of auction companies out there in the United States. And so my business is an internet auctioning company that offers auctioning services to people throughout the world. So instead of just isolating the value of these cars to your local market, it's national or international. So
you can do. So you don't have to be local here in Pensacola. Like you can do this for anybody across the U.S.
Well, basically, I'd like to focus on people that own vehicles in Pensacola.
Okay,
but
you want to be able to see and touch and kind of get a good look at the vehicle.
Exactly. Basically, I want to be able to do a solid inspection on the vehicle. I do extensive marketing, which means documenting all the vehicle, putting it on a lift, taking around 200, 300 photographs of the vehicle, test all the gauges, the gears, and then know exactly what the vehicle is and how to represent it. Because as an auction company, I have to tell the proof of the vehicle to the potential buyers.
Right.
So each vehicle should sell for itself if it's a desirable vehicle.
Yeah. So how do you find the buyers for it?
Well, I currently have a endorsement with the I currently have an endorsement with the Department of Motor Vehicles. I advertise downtown at the tax collector's branch office. So I get customers from advertising at the DMV.
Which is crazy because you get a lot of customers that way, right?
Yeah.
Like who would have thought just sitting in line at the DMV? I guess you got nothing else to do, right? So you look around.
I figured I was down there doing titling work and figured, this would be a perfect area to reach the people that are trying to get titles or move here. And the biggest clients that I have as well is when people are moving. So they're moving to a different location. They don't want to have to move a vehicle.
Right.
So we offer the service to broker the vehicle, to market it, auction it, get top market value for it, and handle the transaction, even to shipping. And so they just walk away with a certified check, and I take a small commission, and they don't have to deal with people.
Yeah, that's very cool. Very cool. So what's the coolest, most odd car you've dealt with so far, you think? Like the Batmobile or something?
I'm trying to think here.
No Batmobile?
No. I mean, there was a 1946 hot rod that was a client, and the family was trying to get money for health concerns for their grandmother. And it was an American hot rod, but the vehicle was basically handmade. So it wasn't really up to safety standards, as you could say, because someone in their garage just built this hot rod,
right.
But
it's pretty badass.
Yeah, exactly. It still had the Betty Boop on it.
Yeah, very
and
cool.
all of that. And so I was proud to be able to find a buyer for the customer, because that helped their family with some medical debt. Yeah. And then ship it to a client in New Jersey, and then he could enjoy the hot rod.
Yeah. Very cool. So do you have any right now that are in the middle of transition that you're looking for buyers for?
I currently have a couple vehicles that are still in the process of completing the auction. So once the auction's end, then we have to arrange pickup. So either the buyer can come down here and pick it up, or we can arrange shipping. Each transaction is different depending on the buyer and the seller.
Right.
So I'm basically the middleman to.
Yeah. Do you get to drive some of them to the people?
Yeah, as long as they're insured and drivable, then and then the property owner's cool with that.
Yeah.
But it seems like majority of the people, they're like, yeah, will you come or let's go for a spin?
Right.
So another client, he had a 1966 Ford Cobra, and I about crap my pants.
Oh, I bet, dude. I bet.
Yeah,
it's a powerful vehicle.
Yeah. It's fun. It's enjoyable, and then meeting like a 1975-year-old man that has a 1946 Willys, and he's telling me stories of, how this vehicle was painted to sell to people coming back from the war, and it was actually the first civilian Jeep to be sold, and just two extremes of
history, huh?
History, and then the modern side of hot rods. And so it's more of a hobby, but then I've found a way to help assist people and to get them top dollar for their vehicles.
Yeah. So do you plan on expanding this venture? Are you going to hire anybody else? Are you going to be moving more? You plan on moving more vehicles than you do now, or?
Well, that's the goal is always to keep growing, but just how the process has been working, I just line up vehicles every week or 2 weeks, because it realistically takes about a week to do all the marketing, a week to do the auction, because the auction runs online for a week, and then a week after the auction, that's figuring out wiring the funds, shipping, transportation. Yeah. So I'm just constantly lining up different vehicles. And so in the future, depending on how many leads come in, yes, I would like to grow and then have some.
But I mean, you've always got a car in the process, throughout the year. Pretty much.
There's one in the queue.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But then again, some take longer to finish. So, but the nice thing is the vehicles can stay in the possession of the property owner. Mm-hmm. Some of the other competitors are like Barrett Jackson you have to physically bring the vehicle to the auction place, and then they offer no reserve auctions, which in your right mind, do you really want to do a no reserve auction when there's some form of value on your vehicle?
Right.
So with the vendors that I use, you can set a reserve price on what you think it's worth.
Yeah. So at least you get the bare minimum, right?
So you have the bare minimum. And so since I'm commission based, we set a reserve price. If it doesn't hit the reserve, then you know what the market value really is for that vehicle.
Right.
So you can have the option of dropping the reserve. Like for instance, one vehicle, it was a classic car, and we had the reserve for $8,500. We started to have some of the bidding drop down right around $8,000. If we didn't pull the reserve, we would have lost the sale.
Right.
So at $8K, we pulled the reserve, and then it went up to $9,500.
Nice.
So it's either your call. You know, I only operate with the consent of the property owner.
Right.
We have a contract that allows me to act on their behalf during the auction.
Yeah.
So I like to sit down with the property owner at the very end of the auction, and then we can communicate on the online forums and really pump up the bidders and talk about the vehicles to get over the reserve price.
Yeah.
So
very cool. Well, do the kids kind of like this? Like seeing all the cool cars coming through?
Oh yeah, I mean, I bring my kids whenever they want to, you know. But I'll show up at people's houses and they'll say, "Hey, you brought your kids," and you know they'll like looking at the Volkswagens or the Jeeps, and let's go look at a truck. So my son's really big into monster trucks, and
right on.
I like the classic 4x4. So
what's your favorite? What's your favorite? What was your favorite car growing up?
Oh, well, like one of my first car was a Toyota Supra. So that kind of just instilled Toyota in my blood. And so since then, you know, after having sports cars and possibly, you know, getting into a little trouble,
right?
You know, I figured it's time to throttle back and get classic 4x4s. And
were you a Bigfoot fan growing up?
Oh, yeah. I think every kid was.
I think so. Is he even around anymore? They used to make
I haven't
Bigfoot?
seen them. I would imagine someone still has the branding rights to it, but
now it's all the other like monster screaming green things and whatever. But I haven't seen Bigfoot like do the whole monster truck rally in forever.
No, I mean Gravedigger's always the
he's the winner.
Star of the show.
Like Bigfoot was like he was a shizzle. Like nobody beat him ever.
Yeah,
you know. So, well, if anybody's interested in finding out more information about who you are, what they can do with this, where do we send them to?
Okay, I currently have a website that's called beachcruiserauctions.com. And on that website, there's a Google form that you can submit your vehicle's information. I do offer a free appraisal service. So when you submit your vehicle, I will run a search on all the comps throughout the United States to figure out what a ballpark figure of that vehicle is worth. And then we can work together to find the best auction vendor for that specific vehicle. I look forward to reviewing people's vehicles, coming out and meeting people in person, looking at the vehicles and seeing if there's any rust. Rust is always the biggest concern about any car, you know, with the rot. But then again, I've sold some of the most rotten cars that nobody ever wanted. And one of my clients, he is Tom Tomlinson, and he purchased a rusted old Jeep Gladiator since they're coming out with the new Jeep Gladiator, and he wanted that Jeep for a personal build. So it's you think of rusty vehicles, nobody wants them, but then again, you put it out on forums, and someone's going to want to do something. They want to bring it back to life, and that's really what my passion is. It's being able to make something from nothing and then put these vehicles back on the road. And I don't call it selling cars. I rehome vehicles.
Yeah.
So if your family member has had a collection of vehicles and it's sitting in the garage, and your mom doesn't want your father to pass away and leave all of this stuff, I am more than happy to come out and assist your family to get you top dollar at a small commission fee.
Yeah. Okay, so one more time, what's the website?
It's www.beachcruiserauctions.com.
That's it. And you're on Facebook too, right? You got all kinds of stuff so people can kind of see the process.
That's correct. I'm on Facebook and Instagram under Beach Cruiser Co.
Awesome. Cool, man. Well, we're to the end here of time-wise, but very cool business, I think. Very neat. You're getting to see all these cool hot rods, and hopefully next week when you get some of these other ones in, we'll go get some pictures and stuff and take some cool shots of some of the cool cars that you get. But I think I'm waiting for the day when you find the Dukes of Hazzard car.
Oh, yeah.
Call me. You let me know.
Okay.
I'll sell something. We'll make it happen. So, okay, guys, you can find us at Pensacola Radio X on Twitter. You can find us at Pensacola BRX on Facebook, or you can find us on our webpage at businessradiox.com or on our live feed at businessradiox.live. And this has been Pensacola Business Radio, where business is good and your work matters. All right, I want to thank everybody for listening today. My name's Keith Hilbert. This has been Pensacola Business Radio. You can find us at Pensacola Radio X on Twitter, Pensacola BRX on Facebook. You can find us on LinkedIn at businessradioxstudios.pensacola, or you can find us on Instagram at Pensacola Business Radio, or on our websites at businessradiox.com, or on our live feed at businessradiox.live. If you are interested in being a guest on Business Radio X, please visit either one of our sites or our social media sites to find a link to book your appearance. This has been Pensacola Business Radio, where business is good and your work matters.